Hello everyone, welcome back to Conspiracy. I have a pretty big doozy for you today. It's the Cryptids iceberg. I found it on Reddit. This iceberg is huge. We're just going to be covering tier 1 today. I'm going to try to do a tier of video. This is going to be a little bit of a longer video. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiers again. So you can also see it's a lot more packed than the prison's iceberg was. So there's going to be significantly more content. I'm still going to try to make one every other week with a video in between. So we'll see how that goes. I doubt that there's anything missing from this cryptid iceberg because of how massive it is. However, there are a lot of cryptids out there. It wouldn't actually surprise me that much if there was something missing. I don't know if you can tell, I'm pretty tired, but anyone who works in Mountain Dew, sponsor me. Please. I have so many good ideas for you. With this iceberg being so long, I'm just going to try to touch on each one. Not make like a whole paragraph, a whole point for each one. If there are any that you would like to see me make a whole video on, if there's enough content for that, let me know in the comments below. I'll make a whole video on it. If I already plan on making a video on one, I'll say it as we start the cryptid off. With all that being said, let's get started. You can find the link to this iceberg in the description below. Bigfoot is one of the most well-known cryptids in North America. Not only is there the famous film of an alleged Bigfoot, but early records from indigenous people include tales of mysterious hair-covered creatures living in forests, as well as the Natchez in 1721 reporting stories to a French priest about a hairy creature in the forest that would scream loudly and steal livestock. Bigfoot is supposed to be 6 to 9 feet tall, but some have described it as being 10 to 15 feet tall, man-like, and supposed to be more human than animal. Besides giant octopuses in the ocean, there's also an alleged giant octopus in the freshwater man-made lakes of Oklahoma. There's no physical evidence of the creature. However, people point towards the high mortality rate and the large number of unexplained drownings near the lake. However, there's not a lot to do in Oklahoma besides drink. Probably just got drunk and then went swimming and died. Probably. There have also been alleged numerous sightings. One of the reasons that I'm scared of the ocean is that we don't know what's down there. There are many things on this list that fall under this umbrella, but this is one of the main ones. Sea serpents are a dragon-type sea monster. In ancient times, even biblical times, dragons are envisioned as huge serpentine monsters with no legs or wings, which is how sea serpents are described. An ancient eyewitness report is found in Aristotle's Historia Animalium, where a reference is made to an eyewitness account of a dead sea creature. Quote, the corpse of which was about 100 feet in length, and so bulky that horsemen standing by it on either side could not see one another, and its jaws were large enough to admit a man on horseback. This experience was sometime between 130 and 51 BC. With its name literally meaning goat sucker in Spanish, you'll never guess what the Chupacabra is famous for. The Chupacabra feeds on goats and sheep, with its first reported attack being 8 dead sheep in Puerto Rico. Each sheep had 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and had been completely drained of blood. The most common description of the Chupacabra is that of a reptile-like creature, having leathery or scaly greenish-gray skin and sharp spines or quills running down its back. It's also said to be about 3 to 4 feet tall. Short little fella. I could probably take him on. Having a professional NHL team named after it, the Jersey Devil is also known as the Leeds Devil. The creature of legend is said to live in the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. The creature is often described as a flying bipedal creature with hooves, but there are also variations. The most common description is a bipedal kangaroo-like creature with a horse or possibly goat-like head, bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, hooves, and a forked tail. If more than one person is describing that exact thing to you, they've probably seen it. The reported origin of the Jersey Devil starts with the Leeds family in the Pine Barrens. Finding out that she was pregnant with her 13th child, Jane Leeds cursed the baby, crying out that it would be the devil. Born as a normal child, the 13th baby changed to a creature with hooves, a goat's head, bat wings, and a forked tail. The child then beat everyone with its tail before flying up the chimney and heading into the pines. In 1909, newspapers published hundreds of claimed encounters with the Jersey Devil all over South Jersey, where people claimed that they were attacked by the creature. They were probably just robbed. It's New Jersey. During this time, the Philadelphia Zoo posted a $10,000 reward for the creature, which prompted hoaxes, including a kangaroo that had artificial claws and fake bat wings glued to it. Jackalopes are described as a jackrabbit with antelope horns. In the 1930s, two brothers popularized the American jackalope by grafting deer and antelope antlers onto a jackrabbit carcass and selling the combo at a local hotel in Douglas, Wyoming. The Wyoming legislature has considered bills in the past to make the jackalope the state's official mythological creature. They really don't have much going on in Wyoming, do they? It is said that the adults grow to about 3 feet tall and weigh up to 150 pounds. The Thunderbird is a legendary creature in certain Native American history and culture. It's considered to be a supernatural being of power and strength. The Thunderbird is said to create thunder by flapping its wings and lightning by flashing its eyes. In Algonquin mythos, the Thunderbird controls the upper world, while in modern mythos, the Thunderbird is a purported cryptid similar to our next entry. Sometimes referred to as Nessie, not to be confused with my dog, Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster is supposed to be located in the Loch Ness, in Scotland. Described as being large, having a long neck, and having one or more humps that protrude from the water, the monster was brought to worldwide attention in 1933. The scientific community explains alleged sightings of the monsters are hoaxes, wishful thinking, and the misidentification of objects. However, the cryptozoology community has placed emphasis on the creature, citing pictures taken as proof. You can look at the pictures, they're not really that proof. They kind of look good, I guess. Often compared to, and perhaps even related to, the Bigfoot of North America, the Yeti is said to live in the Himalayan mountain range in Asia. The Yeti is referred to frequently as the abominable snowman in the Western Hemisphere. The origin of the Yeti is believed to be a combination of factors, including Sherpa folklore and misidentified animals such as bears. Described very much like Bigfoot, the Yeti is described as being a large, bipedal, ape-like creature that is covered with brown, gray, or sometimes white hair, and occasionally is depicted as having large teeth. Reportedly sighted twice total, the Dover Demon is supposedly a cryptid in Dover, Massachusetts. He probably left Massachusetts, said this state sucks, got out of there. On April 21st, 1977, 17-year-old Bill Bartlett claimed that while he was driving, he saw a large-eyed creature with tendril-like fingers and glowing eyes on top of a broken stone wall on Farm Street in Dover. April 21st? Dude, that's the day after 420. That guy was just stoned. 17? Massachusetts? April 21st? He didn't see anything, man. That guy was just high. Two 15-year-olds also reported seeing a similar creature on the same night in Miller Hill Road. See? They were just high. With another sighting being reported the night after on Springville Avenue. All three teens drew sketches of the creature, and Bill wrote on his, quote, "I, Bill Bartlett, swear on the stack of Bibles that I saw this creature." According to the Boston Globe, quote, "The locations of the sightings, plotted on a map, lay in a straight line over 2 miles. Some suggested that the creature could be a moose calf, but police believe it was probably nothing more than a school vacation hoax." I have a whole video on Mothman. You can view it here. However, if you don't have the 10 minutes to watch the video, I'll still give a brief explanation. Mothman is famous in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where they have museums, restaurants, and a festival for it. It is said that if you see Mothman, there will be a disaster in the near future, as Mothman was seen before the Chernobyl explosion, before the Fukushima, Japan meltdown, and before the Silver Bridge collapse. Referred to as greys, the gray aliens are depicted as having dark to pale gray skin, humanoid shape, and lack of external organs like ears, nose, etc. Gray aliens are what you think of when you think of typical aliens, and make up 40% of all reported alien sightings. There are many reported sightings online in both picture and video form. The greys are also supposed to be the aliens that are held at Area 51, and the aliens that crashed in Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. Reported as being seen near Mount St. Helens in the 1980s, Bat Squatch resembles a flying primate, as I'm sure you can guess. It gets its name from the words bat and Sasquatch. A witness allegedly took several pictures of the creature, but they haven't been analyzed, so cannot be proven to be photoshopped, and I wasn't able to find them online either. I did a ton of digging, so if there's not a picture here right now, I apologize. I did a ton of digging before recording. I'm going to do even more after recording to see if I can find it in editing. Not to be confused with the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob, the Mongolian deathworm is a creature alleged to exist in the Gobi Desert. Yeah, it doesn't live under the sea, it lives in the literal desert. Since it's impossible to prove a negative, such as the worm not existing, and the Gobi Desert being 500,000 square miles, we can't say for sure that the worm doesn't exist. The Mongolian deathworm first came to Western culture via Roy Chapman Andrew and his 1926 book called On the Trail of Ancient Man. He described secondhand takes of the monster that he had heard in a meeting of Mongolian officials. He said that, quote, none of those present had ever seen the creature, but they all firmly believed in its existence and described it minutely. However, in 1983, a specimen of Tartar sand boa was shown to locals who claimed to have seen the worm, and they confirmed that it was the same animal. Perhaps that was what gave birth to the legend. The Enfield monster is a monster reported as being seen in Enfield, Illinois, USA. Used mostly as a case study for a paper on social contagion in 1978, the monster is described as having 3 legs, a short body, 2 short arms, and 2 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It's about 4.5 feet tall and gray, almost like a human body. That's a quote, but very, very few of that sounds almost like a human body. Reports in 1973 by the News said that it was probably a wild ape or escaped kangaroo. Not too far from where Mothman first appeared, the Flatwoods monster, also known as the Braxton County monster, Braxy, or the Phantom of the Flatwoods, was seen in Flatwoods City, Braxton County, West Virginia, USA. On September 12, 1952, after a bright object crossed the night sky, 3 boys and a local neighbor went to where they thought the object had landed. They saw a pulsing red light, and when a flashlight was aimed at it, they saw a man-like figure with a round red face surrounded by pointed hood-like shape. I'm also pretty positive that the aliens from Majora's Mask are inspired by the Flatwoods monsters. Look at the two compared. They're so similar. And if anyone knows anything about Majora's Mask, I got a tattoo about it. A globster is an unidentified organic mass that washes up on the shoreline of an ocean or other body of water. The term was first coined in 1962 when a mass washed up on shore, which was said to have, quote, no visible eyes, no defined head, and no apparent bone structure. It's different from a normal beached carcass as it's hard to identify. That just sounds like ocean slime. Said to be a servant or guardian of hell, the devil, or the underworld, hellhounds are found in mythos all around the world, with the best known example being Cerberus. While physical characteristics can vary, they are commonly black, overgrown, supernaturally strong, and often have red eyes. In a few countries and cultures around the world, it is believed that Satan himself will appear to others as a hellhound. We're on to another reason that I don't like the ocean, the Kraken. Said to live off the coast of Norway, the legendary sea monster was first described in the year 1700. The description was later followed in 1734 by an account from a Norwegian missionary and explorer who described the Kraken in great detail. Old sea monsters are super fascinating to me. I'll probably make a video on them as a whole in the future. This is my favorite cryptid on this tier, by far, the Loveland Frog. Standing at 4 feet tall, this bad boy is supposedly a humanoid frog in Ohio. This one is so funny to me. This is an artist's rendition. I mean, just look at it. Look at this dude next to a freeway barrier, like he's gonna hop over it. Looks shocked that we found it. He's like, "Ah, crap. They know I exist." The legends say that the creature was first sighted by a man driving late at night in 1955. It's said that he spotted 3 figures stood erect on their hind legs along the side of the road, each one being about 3 to 4 feet in height, with leathery skin and a frog face. I'm sure this would have been scary in the moment, but honestly, this is so funny. Look at it, dude. The legend was made into a musical titled Hot Damn, It's the Loveland Frog. Said to inhabit the Okanagan Lake in British Columbia, Canada, Ogopogo is said to have originated with the native Canadians. There have been multiple sightings of the beast. However, skeptics say that a group of otters swimming in a row could be mistaken for a monster. Today, Ogopogo is actually used as a main factor in the town's economy, as many local stores, gas stations, etc. use it as a kind of mascot. More commonly referred to as the Goat Man, the Pope-Lick monster is a legendary part man, part goat, part sheep creature that is said to live beneath the railroad bridge over Pope-Lick Creek in Louisville, Kentucky. So he did not lick any popes. There are many legends about the creature's origins and methods it used to lure victims. Some say the creature was a circus freak who fled the circus, and others say the monster is the twisted and reincarnated form of a farmer who sacrificed goats in exchange for satanic powers. When you Google reptilians, the first results all include the word conspiracy, so why doesn't the government want us to know about reptilians? I wasn't super huge into the idea that reptilians existed, but now that all the search results include the word conspiracy, kind of more about it. The idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke, who claims that shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political powers, and he has claimed on many occasions that many world leaders are reptilians. The Wendigo is one of the most feared mythical creatures in Native American culture. There are different reported ways a person can become a Wendigo: greed, cannibalism, and contact with Wendigos for too long. A Yowie is one of several names for an Australian folklore entity that is reported to live in the outback. The creature's roots are oral in nature, as stories passed from the Aborigines. Described as a hairy ape-like creature standing upright at between 7 feet and 12 feet. Described as hairy ape-like creatures standing upright at between 7 feet and 12 feet, the creature's feet are described as larger than a human's. However, alleged tracks are inconsistent in shape and toe number. They are described in a number of ways, from timid and shy to violent and aggressive. Kind of just sounds like another Bigfoot. Dragons as a whole have a lot of mythos surrounding them, with a lot of origins depending on the region of the world you look in. The most common type of dragon in the West is depicted as a fire-breathing quadruped lizard with wings and a tail. However, if you go east, Asia, dragons are wingless, serpent-type creatures with above-average intelligence, kind of like the dragons from Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you've ever seen the show. Scholars believe that huge extinct crocodiles bear the closest resemblance and could explain dragons. Dragons, however, are mentioned in the Bible. I don't know if you believe in the Bible, but they are mentioned there. The Hydra is a multi-headed serpent-like water monster in Greek and Roman mythology. Its lair is reported to be the entrance of the underworld. It has poisonous breath and blood so foul that even the scent of it is deadly. Hercules was sent to kill the Hydra as the second labor. Disney even included it, and you can see how cool looking the Hydra is here. It's like cut one head off, two more will take its place. I don't think it's in the MCU at all. I don't actually really follow the MCU. I have no clue. But I do know that Hydra is one of the main reasons that S.H.I.E.L.D. was founded. The Umi-bozu kind of looks like if you took Salad Fingers, took his clothes and dyed him black. Unlike Salad Fingers, however, it's a sea serpent with multiple sightings in Japan. The spirit is said to appear to sailors on calm nights, which quickly turn into a nightmare of waves. It is said to either break the ship or demand a barrel and then drown the sailors in the barrel. The only way to safely escape it is to offer a bottomless barrel and then sail away while it's confused. In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. The term is not that of a healer witch, but a harmful one. The skinwalker legend is not super well known outside of the Navajo tribe. However, supposedly the most haunted place in the world is Skinwalker Ranch in my home state of Utah, just right outside of Vernal. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Skinwalker Ranch or Utah. Right outside of Vernal, Skinwalker Ranch. I will be making a video on the ranch in the future. I also know the owner, so I'm going to see if I can get him to answer some questions for us. No promises, though. He's a busy guy. The Fresno Nightcrawlers, one of my favorite cryptids actually. It just looks so cool. It just kind of looks like an old Disney ghost, like an old Disney cartoon ghost. It's a cryptid that has made a total of 2 appearances so far. The first sighting was in Fresno, where it got the name Fresno Nightcrawler, and the second was in Yosemite National Park, also in California. In both of these sightings, they have only been caught on camera, but a man in Poland was claimed to have seen the creature with no photographic evidence. I love the way these things walk. Let's see if I can get a video here, because they walk funny. Look at that. Baba Yaga is a Slavic cryptid. She is supposedly an ogress who steals, cooks, and eats her victims, who are usually children. Her and Shrek would have beef, I think. Her fence is topped with human skulls, and she can fly in an iron pot. It's also said that she often travels with Death on his travels, devouring fresh souls. Centaurs are actually some more of my favorite cryptids. It's kind of funny. I think I got my like for centaurs from Disney's Hercules, which was one of my favorite Disney movies. Centaurs are thought of as being as wild as untamed horses, which make up the lower part of their body, while they have an upper body and a torso of a human. There's a whole list of centaurs with names and backstories and stuff. If you'd like to know them all, I can make a video, or you can look them up on Wikipedia. It has all of them. According to Germanic folklore, dwarves are entities that dwell in the mountains and in the earth. Now, I live like 5 minutes from a mountain, the largest mountain range in the continental United States. Right, the Rockies. I have never seen a dwarf. It's a little disappointing. They're described as wise, working in smithing, crafting, and mining. Oh, they play Minecraft IRL. They're also described as short and ugly. Why you gotta be so mean to them? I hate dwarves, they're so ugly. No wonder no one ever sees them. They're shy. People keep calling them ugly. However, some scholars wonder if the short and ugly portrayal was due to a more comical portrayal of dwarves in certain recent media. So Snow White, Lord of the Rings, Dopey in Snow White, and Gimli in Lord of the Rings. He's like the comic relief of the group. So they're wondering if that's where they got like their kind of like short and ugly description. Gargoyles are a fantasy and horror monster inspired by the gargoyles on buildings. While a gargoyle is believed to frighten away evil spirits, the idea that the statues themselves come to life is a semi-recent one. They've also been depicted as vessels for demonic possessions. But the question is, did the statues inspire the monsters, or does the monster inspire the statue? Giants have all sorts of meanings, from ancient very tall humans such as Goliath from the Bible story to monsters depicted in Greek mythos. In Greek mythos, giants were a race of great strength and aggression, but not necessarily great size. Giants in Greek mythos are most known for their battle with the Olympian gods. However, this is not to be confused with the Titans who also battled the gods. It is also said that the Greek giants are banished under volcanoes and mountains and are what caused the eruptions and earthquakes. Gnomes were first brought to modern culture in the 16th century. The characteristics of gnomes have changed to suit the needs of the various storytellers, who include gnomes, but it's typical for them to be small humanoids that live underground. Today, gnomes are most common as statues in gardens, where it is possible that they could be come into life. That's tier 1 of the Cryptid Iceberg. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, if you have any cryptids you would like me to go into more detail on, if there is more detail that I can go into, just let me know in the comments below and I'll see if I can make a full video on it. I'm always happy to take ideas from you guys. Thanks for watching. Look forward to part 2 coming out in 2 weeks. Next week should be Bohemian Grove. So yeah, we'll see what we got going on over in Bohemian Grove. But I'll see you guys next time.